Hello and welcome to this video. So in today's video, I'll be showing you HTML lists, how to work with lists in HTML. So basically, lists allow the developers to group related items into a list format. And there are different types of lists in HTML. We have the ordered list, the unordered list, and we have the description list. So the ordered list, the list items are usually numbered. For example, you have lists where there's a number one, a number two, etc., etc. That is the ordered list. Then the unordered list is just a dot. Then the descriptive list, they are list items, but it also comes with the description of the item. I'm going to demonstrate each of them right now. So let's start with the ordered list. You create this by writing OL. So I'm going to save. So each list needs a list item, and this list item, we write that as LI. So this is a list item. I'm going to say first item. Then I'm just going to copy it, paste, paste, paste. Say second, third, fourth. So in the browser, here it is now. So this is the ordered list. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I change this to UL, the unordered list, you see it's just dots. By default, it is dots. So now let's go into more detail. I'm going to start with the ordered list for now. So the ordered list, it takes an attribute. This attribute is the type attribute. So you see here, it's 1. You can also choose A, the capital letter A. It's now A, B, C, D. But if you want, you can make it the small a. It's now small letters A, B, C, D. You can also go ahead and use I. It's going to do the Roman numerals I, and IV. Then the same way as the A, you can make it the small letter I, IV. We also have the start attribute. So this defines where you want it to start counting. So for example, I'm going to make the type 1. So it has gone back to 1, 2, 3, 4. But I want it to start counting from 10. It's now 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is awesome if perhaps you're creating multiple pages. Then a list expands through multiple pages. You have the list items, item 1 to 9 on the first page. You can now use start on the second page, start 10. It will now continue from there, continue from 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's a scenario that you might use this. So that's basically it for the ordered list. Now let's look at the unordered list. UL. Okay, now to save myself the stress, I'll just change this to UL. So if I check the browser now, it's back to those dots. So let's see what we can do with them. So I'm going to write type, just like the ordered list, the UL also has type. So there are different types. The first one we have, there's the disk. By default, it's set to disk. So I'm going to do circle. So the circle, if you notice, is just a circle, there's space in between so you can see through. Then other than circle, there's also square. It's now a square. Then last but not the least, you can set it to none. This way you can have the list items just as they are. So it's not distracting, you just have them as they are. So that is it for unordered list. And like I said, ordered list, typically it numbers or it tries to create an order to the list items, while unordered list is the exact opposite. It doesn't create like a numbering system, it just has a symbol next to it. It can be a square, it can be a circle, or it can be nothing at all. So now we have looked at ordered list and we have looked at unordered list. Now let's check out what we call description lists. So the description list is a bit different from the UL and the OL. That is the unordered list and the ordered list. This one, while the others will have an LI, this one is a bit different. For each item, you have two elements you're going to be adding. The first one is the DT. So this is the description term or the name. So this, for example, say first item. Say there. Having created that, I can now add the DD. This is the actual description. So I'm going to say this is just an item. Let's check it. So this is what it looks like. If I duplicate this, so for each item, you need a DT and a DD. So I'm going to say second, and here third. So the first one is this is just an item. The second one is this is just another item. The third one is this is just an extra item. And this is how it looks by default. Remember, once again, we have not added any CSS, any styling. We'll start CSS in the very next video, so look forward to it. We're going to be recreating everything, but we'll make it a bit more attractive. So that is how lists work. But there's one more thing I want to show you. You can actually put a list into another list. That is called nesting. Remember, when you put an element inside another, it is called nesting. So I'm going to say I have an unordered list. I'm going to call this students. The H2, I've changed it to students. I want to just make this practical. Students and okay, let me just say people and strengths. So in the unordered list, I'm going to create miles. So inside miles, the list item with miles, I'm going to say it has another list. This one is going to be an ordered list, and it's going to have an LI. Blast. So now you notice we have put an ordered list inside an unordered list by putting it in the list item. I'm going to duplicate this and repeat it for I probably butchered this spelling, just ignore that. And then so let's look at the browser. So you've noticed here, each of this is just an unordered list, but inside the unordered list, we have an ordered list for each of these. So I can go further to say, and to show you how deep this goes, okay, the animantium, I'm going to add an OL LI and say metallic. So the animantium, I've added an OL inside it. So let's look at what it looks like now. I'll make this a UL just so to be easier to tell. So mouse, we have Venom Blast and Invisibility. Wolverine, we have Animantium. Under Animantium, we still have Metallic Claws, Impenetrable Skull. Then next, after Animantium, we have Healing Stroke Regeneration. So this just shows you can have ordered lists and unordered lists. And okay, I think I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to a DL, a descriptive list, and say DT. Perfect. So here we have Miles, Venom Blast, Invisibility, Wolverine. First we have Animantium. Inside Animantium we have a descriptive list. This has metallic claws, then the description of the metallic claw. After that we have healing and regeneration. So this is how list works. I advise maybe you practice it, you go through it a little bit. Try working with different types of lists, putting one inside the other, changing the type if you want it to be 1 2 3, or you want it to be I, or you want it to be ABC. I just advise you go through it, you test the waters a little bit. This will really help you get used to working with lists. So that is basically it for lists. It's quite simple. Almost everything we have covered so far is simple. It's when we start adding CSS and JavaScript, we are going to make it a little bit more complicated, but nothing you can't handle. So that's it for this video. So I look forward to seeing the next one. We're going to be covering CSS. We'll be styling our pages, making them look nice. We're going to revisit everything we have done so far. We're going to revisit images. We're going to revisit paragraphs, all of that. But this time we'll use CSS to make it a bit more attractive. Alright, thank you for sticking by to the end. If you feel this video helped you, please drop a like and feel free to subscribe for future content. I also have a website and a Discord where I'll be dropping most of my free content, so check that out. Also feel free to support the channel on Ko-fi to aid the making of future assets and videos. Alright, that's all for now. See you in the next video.